It's actually quite unfortunate that the issue of refunds are always brought up when we register such remarkable results as we have announced today. But let me address that issue. Firstly, refunds are set at the time when we meet with the National Treasury prior to every budget announcement. And refunds are predicated on three main factors. Firstly, the level of exports. As you know, all exports are zero rated. The level of inventory build-up by companies, because that difference between them paying the VAT and actually realizing the VAT may or may not result in a refund. And then, of course, investment. So at the time when we set these refund envelopes, these factors are all taken into account, and it's set and published by National Treasury. And of course, that's done in a consultative process between ourselves, South African Reserve Bank, and National Treasury. But to answer your question directly, this year, we are in a process of actually cleaning out our credit book. And you would have noticed that the growth in refunds of 8.5% year on year outstripped the actual revenue growth. So it shows that we are beginning to eat into our credit book. Your credit book are refunds that are there because we don't have the correct taxpayer details, and for that reason we couldn't pay it out. To talk to this particular target, now you would have noticed that we made it by very marginally by about 300,000 Rand. Now 300,000 Rand and the type of numbers that we deal with, trillion Rand, is basically very, very insignificant. And therefore, on the last day, we refunded 700 million Rand. The refund is set the day before, and then in the morning of the next day it is paid out. So by the time we paid out the 700 million Rand, we had no idea how much of that 33 billion that we were required to collect on the final day we were actually going to collect. So there is no direct link between the type of monitoring and coordination that I do and the operations as to how much refunds will go out. That refund is set, as the Commissioner and many other people have said, are determined by the level of risk or the tightness of the risk engine. And in difficult times, when we see that our system is being peppered or there's been an increase in criminal activity, we would normally tighten our refunds, risk engine. And at other times, we might loosen it a little bit. But that, of course, we can't go into too much detail because that will defeat the object of a risk engine. So I can state without any fear of contradiction and quite emphatically that we are extremely proud of what we've achieved, and that there was no refund manipulation. And in fact, if there were, and if there still remain suspicions, we were quite welcome. We are welcome the intervention of the tax ombudsman, because we need to put this debate to bed. As long as the suspicion exists, the credibility of the institution will always be at stake. And credibility is very closely tied to compliance. And so we will hope to that finally we could put it to bed once we have this report. When we briefed the Standing Committee of Finance on Tuesday this week past, that issue did come up. And it's well known, and it's also in our media statement, that we were extremely concerned about the poor performance of tax in February. So revenue only grew 1.7 if compared with the same period over the last year in February. And there were, of course, the trade contracted quite badly, severely in December, and we felt the impact of that in December. The most worrying part of that was the provisional CIT, corporate income tax from small and medium companies, which is then the big collection time, is in February. We expected a growth rate based on the first payment in August of about 8%, and that normally is close to that. Now, if it goes down to 6% or 7%, that's fairly acceptable, because people look at the outlook for their profits, and then they might adjust the second payment accordingly. What we saw was quite a severe drop from the expected 8% to only 2%. And that caused big concern, because what was affected, that more than 80,000 of these companies submitted null returns. In other words, saying we don't owe you any money. We were quite shocked by that, and we are now in the process of contacting all that companies to get a decent set of responses. Some of them might have paid now in March, and we need to reconcile that. But certainly some of the feedback that we got, that people are concerned about the reputation of SARS. They are concerned whether it is because based on this negative media that we've experienced, that SARS actually do collect the money properly and account for it properly, and that they actually do pay out the refunds. So the mistaken belief is that SARS sit on a pile of money and decide how much refunds they pay out. That can't be the furthest from the truth. The refunds are processed at Reserve Bank level and then paid out. So it's not like we sit on money and we pay ourselves first bonus and then we're not running a corner shop. So yes, we are worried about the level of compliance. We are following up with most of those taxpayers. We're at 80,000 is a big lot. And we have initial indications from our samples that we've done that people are worried about the reputation of SARS, and they are worried about the continued bad publicity and accusations that are leveled against SARS. Because, you know, if you throw mud against the wall, you can wash it off with some matchsticks. So we hope to put one after each other. We need to put all these things to bed, hopefully soon. Based on what I just said in my earlier response, if you look at what we then achieved in March, where we stepped up engagement very significantly. I mean, we tore the length and breadth of the country. The ExCo members went everywhere. And if you look at the figures, we were able to recover year-on-year growth to 15%. So I think there might have been a hiccup in February, but I think certainly the way taxpayers responded in March was absolutely marvelous. I personally made a few calls to taxpayers to urge them to make their payments, to assess the situation. And the responses I get, people still in South Africa believe that paying your tax is the right thing to do. Most people, I should say, not everybody. And we hope that what we achieve, and as we go through this journey, that the general public will continue to realize how valuable and how important SARS is in the national economy. We collect 90% of all government revenue. And if SARS, through this type of, shall we call it, smearing of SARS, then start to lose that effectiveness, it's not the institution that pay, but ultimately the taxpayer and the citizen of South Africa will pay. So we're not without faults, of course. We do have, we do make mistakes, and we do make people annoyed at times. But overall, the institution, not just SARS, but all institutions in SARS that are functioning well, must be supported by the general public.